ahead and call to order the Tuesday, July 27th meeting of the St. Bernard Community Improvement Corporation. We'll have a roll call. I can handle it. Sorry, thanks. President Jonathan Stugel, present. Vice President Rolfson.
Here.
Treasurer Bob Culberson.
Here.
Secretary Meredith Hughes, absent. Board members Joe Brickler, absent. Peggy Brickwig, absent. Ray Culberson.
Here.
Chris Sauer, absent. Chris Schulmeyer.
Present.
Jerry Wiedemann. Here. Amy Osmalley.
Here.
Okay. You all have been presented a copy of the minutes from the last meeting. What is your pleasure on dispensing with the reading of the minutes and accepting the minutes as presented?
I make the motion.
I second.
All right, thank you. Motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes and accept them as presented. It's Tom Rowe. Okay, treasurer's report.
All right, the treasurer report, as of today, the Fifth Third Bank account has $418,499.74. The First State Bank account has $6,752. The only thing going into the First State Bank is the lease payments from the actual bank, and then our payments will come out of that bank account too. So we might have to transfer money just depending on how things fall between the two accounts, but I'll keep you guys posted on it. That concludes my report.
Thank you. As far as our action items, this is a little bit of a light evening, but I'm going to do a little bit of a recap on a couple things just so that if anyone in the community is watching. As far as our pre-development agreement for the shopping center, the development group is currently in their due diligence phase of the process, reviewing all of the easements, parking agreements, leases, environmentals, and the beginning phases of the market studies. So they are working through this process. There's a lot of energy with this group. So I am thoroughly confident that what the outcome will be either way, they will do their best to make this work for us and the community as well. As far as our community engagement event, the first community engagement event was a true success. We had approximately 100 people in attendance who were given an opportunity to have input and share their opinions on the project. Darren Hall from the Civitas Development Group opened with an introduction of the project and the purpose of these events. Steve Kinnett from GBBN Architects led the group through a series of engaging activities where those in attendance worked in small groups to answer various questions about the project and the community. He even got a little risky and incorporated a question about the possibility of a billboard. So, which was a light humor, mildly, for a bit, but he at least was paying attention to my facial expression from the corner. So, good news, our next event is scheduled for Tuesday, August 17th at 6 p.m. So I am asking those who attended the last event to please continue through with this series, and I also invite those who were not able to make it to the first. As we work through the process, Steve and his team will start incorporating feedback so that you will all be able to see this true vision. So I do feel very confident. I know the board members that attended were able to participate and sit amongst the group. I felt pretty confident with that. I know there's still some additional feedback and additional questions to be answered, and hopefully you all can encourage. Does anyone have any comments about what they thought about the event itself?
I thought it was a huge success. Everybody there got to put their 2 cents in if they were willing, and yeah, it was a good kickstart to the relationship.
Yeah, I was happy to see that many people there. I hope we see even more next time. But everyone had pretty good questions. I thought the development team did an excellent job of laying out their thoughts. So hopefully the next one will be just as well attended.
Okay. As far as, I need to borrow something on this real quick. I gave myself the wrong one. Sorry. The Long John Silver's demo party is scheduled for Tuesday, August 10th at 4 p.m. I'm hoping that everyone will be able to make it, but they are willing to actually have a late opportunity for us, so that way more folks can maybe come closer to the end of the day. So I'm asking that you join us to celebrate in the demolition and removal of one of the village's biggest eyesores. Come have a cold beer or water and watch the building come down. This is the first step of the overall project that involves true movement. It may not be the beginning of constructing a new building, but that has some better use for the community. But you have to have a clear vision as to what can actually come from that in that clean site. The last item on our action items, there are some outstanding business on building and property maintenance. Chris, do you have any update on the bid for the roof repair on the First State Bank building?
Well, I talked to Hinson today, and they have been basically just holding off because they don't have material to come patch it right now. He said he was pretty confident that he would have something either this week or next week, and as soon as he got it, he would send some guys out. I think, if I'm remembering right, that we got approval to go ahead and do it up to $5,000, so I was
Correct.
proceeding based on that. So I'll
Great.
report when he tells me the real date, let everyone know so we can let them know, but that's where he's at. Just waiting on material, really. It's tough right now.
Perfect. And then the last bid that we had approved, basically with a spending cap, was for the painting of the facade on the loan center side and touch-up work on the remainder of the building. Did the other contractor get back with you at all?
Yeah, I reached out to Quentin Dews, who did the other side, and he was going to give me a formal not-to-exceed price for that. He was going to try and get out and look at it today. I don't really know if he did. I'll follow up with him tomorrow and get back to everyone.
And then one other question, as far as trying to develop a plan and timeline for the cleanup of the old skyline and potentially getting a quote for white boxing that unit. There is some, muscle work that really honestly just needs to be done. So whether or not we, bid that out, I mean, I'm willing to do some of the work, and Chris Sauer's willing to do some of the work. It's more or less getting a dumpster and moving a lot of items, and then in some cleaning, then trying to get somebody in, to do, potentially white box that. I know that we haven't looked at the long-term use of the building, depending on what the overall scope of the development would be, but at some point, we truly need to address it, and I would like to at least start with the cleaning and trashing it out. And the same exact thing with Crosley's. So, I mean, it needs a thorough cleaning and trashing out. So, the grease is still in the fryers. So whether or not we pay somebody to do it, or whether or not, there's folks in the group that are willing to give some time. But I think there's a lot of items that need to come out of there that have been accumulated over a period of time, junk. And no, it's not full of all the grand memorabilia that everyone thinks. It's been well picked over. So I need to contact the vending company to try to, get their games to come out. I'm sure they're wanting it. I think it's Pioneer, I think is who had, the games down there. So again, those probably should come out until someone new actually, secures the building. But does anyone have an opinion on whether or not we try to do as much as we can, which I'm all for initially?
Jonathan, just a question. Who owns that building as of today? We do. Okay, CIC owns it. Do we own everything in it as well?
We own everything
Okay,
in
I
it.
just wanted to make sure before because there's Coke machine, there's like stuff.
Correct.
I'm happy to get a price on cleaning it out so we can at least evaluate that. I'm also happy to help with some sweat equity. I think it might be a lot more work than people think. There's a lot, probably more than one dumpster, I would guess. But I can get a price and we can decide. And if we think it's too much, I'm happy to help as well. I'm sure everyone would pitch in.
I would like to I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I second what Chris is saying about getting a price. I don't think there's any harm in that. But I would also push to kind of table this until at least September. So when we hear back from the developer as to the results of some of their due diligence and community engagement, if there's any opportunity that is incorporated into the development, maybe we don't spend our resources taking care of the problem.
At this point, I mean, if we even got just a light crew to especially with the Crosley side, just trying to maybe just going through some stuff, so that way at least we have an idea of what's there. And again, just some light straightening and cleaning, so that way if we do need to get somebody else down there, fine. But I'd like to actually make the effort to figure out, getting at least the oil out of the fryers, some of the maybe rotten food out of the walk-in. That's just me, and I don't mind going in there on my own either, but we've got to, just a little bit of work, you know what I mean? And maybe organizing some of the stuff that was just kind of left randomly, because I said the good memorabilia is gone.
Hey, Jonathan.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm all for, picking a weekend that works, get a team together, go down there. I guess, just a question, are we gonna be able to use it, the dumpsters from the village, and then just making sure that they have those available? And then with the oil and the fryer, they still have that grease dumpster down there, or are we gonna have to get something to dump that grease into?
So the grease dumpster is still there. So we probably need to, check, reach out to the company that comes and removes it. I haven't looked inside of it, but the dumpster was taken away. So we may have to actually purchase another dumpster through the village, because again, they just did away with it and didn't have trash pickup. So I think they have 3 waste wheelers, but it's definitely more than what could be handled unless we get unless you got a more substantial, rollback dumpster. But I wouldn't want that there for very long, only because it's going to end up with everyone else's stuff. But I think that either way, we could chip away at it and, start, at least sorting. That was my only thought. At least the bigger chaotic mess is Crosley's than the actual old Skyline. So, and anyone that wants to go over and check it out at any one point, I'll be glad to run you through.
So-
I'm available like weekends or during the week, so anytime you want to do it, I'll go over.
So we'll do this concurrently, though. I'll go ahead and get a price, just so we have it in our pocket, and in the meantime, if we want to go work on it, we'll just coordinate amongst ourselves.
All right.
So you're only talking about the price to clean it out, not the white boxes? Okay.
Okay, at this point, again, this was somewhat of a light agenda. Does anyone on the board have anything under additional items? Tom, I'm sure you do.
No, not today. No, not today.
Okay. Does anyone else on the board have anything? Does anyone in the audience have anything under additional items they'd like to bring up? So again, just a reminder, we would really like to have everyone in attendance for the next community engagement event on Tuesday, August 17th at 6 p.m. In the main hall of the municipal building. And again, we would love to have you join us on Tuesday, August 10th for the long-awaited demo party for Long John Silver's. So again, come out, have a cold beer or water, and watch the building come down. Again, our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, September 28th at 6 p.m. At this point, is there a motion to adjourn?
Mr.
I'll
President,
second it.
real quick, before we adjourn, we skipping an August meeting? I'm just making sure.